So let's get started with today's discussion. Today's discussion is the continuation of the last month discussion where we had a discussion about the LangChain, the basic understanding. If few of you guys joined for the first time, you can connect with the support team and get the recordings from the support team. So we are basically trying to create a playlist type of concept where every month we will be talking about one of the topics of agentic AI, and we'll try to build upon that, right? So as of now, we are talking about LangChain. For few sessions, we'll be talking about LangChain. Then we'll get into LangGraph and so on. If we get a good feedback, then we'll try to have more sessions. But as of now, as we started, so waiting for some of the responses, the feedbacks from you guys. So we had a discussion in the last class about various components of LangChain. And if you see here, these are the main components which you can find in LangChain. So one is models, second is your prompts, third is your chains, fourth is your memory, fifth is indexes, and sixth is the agents. And we had a brief understanding about each of the, each of the component. Today's agenda is basically using this model component and using this prompt component. We will be trying to create a small chatbot, and it will not be very hefty, it's not gonna heavy chatbot, but yes, the basic understanding of this. In the next session, we will be talking about chains and memories, and then we'll combine all these four and create the chatbots. And then we'll add indexes and agents, and we'll create one end-to-end chatbot, maybe after 2-3 sessions. So we are using LangChain again. Those guys who are joining for the first time, LangChain is basically one of the frameworks which is helping us to create the AI agents. And people are using this quite extensively. There are other tools are also available, like what we have here. Crew AI is there, your Llama index is there, right? So these are some of the tools which are available for creating the AI agents. If you want to create more powerful agents like agentic AI, where we have the multiple agents coming into picture. So for that, we have one more framework, which we will talk about in future. That is your LangGraph, right? Which is obviously created on top of LangChain. So with that note, let's get started. So what the aim here is, we have to go ahead and we have to create one small chatbot. And here I am going to use only these two components, that is the models and the prompts. The benefits which I wanted to show you here is that suppose, let's say I want to create a chat model, or I want to create a chatbot using OpenAI API, right? Or if I want to go ahead and I want to use the Gemini from Google, or if I want to use Anthropic Claude, right? So what benefit LangChain gives us that if you are thinking of changing the model from OpenAI to Gemini, you just have to change one small part of the code. That flexibility we get using this particular framework, right? That is the idea. And that is the benefit which LangChain gives us. And that is what we will be seeing here. I am going to use OpenAI, but I will just show you that if I want to shift from OpenAI to Gemini, then what part of the code will get changed, right? So let's get started with creating this entire small chatbot with my own context. So first of all, I will be importing the libraries. I'm using as of now Jupyter, and here I will be creating this entire bot. So I'll be importing some of the libraries from LangChain. And first of all, I will be importing the chat prompt template. As I mentioned that I will be using only prompt template and the model, only these two things I will be using. And with that, we'll create a basic chatbot. So this chat prompt template is a class to define a reusable prompt structure, right? If I want to create a reusable prompt that, okay, I know that this type of prompt is quite heavily asked by the user. So I can create a reusable prompt. And for that, this particular module, which is chat prompt template, is coming into picture. So from LangChain, I have to go to this core dot prompts and I will be importing chat prompt template, right? So this is one of the templates or one of the modules which I want to import. And second module which I want to import is obviously the model, right? As I mentioned that I'll be using only these two components. So second part which I want to import is a model, right? So from LangChain, here you can see OpenAI, right? I am going to use OpenAI. You can use other models as well, like your Olama, which is helping you to connect to the various models, or Grok, or there are other models also available like Gemini and all. So I'm going with OpenAI and I will be importing chat OpenAI model, right? So these are the two things which I imported. One is your prompts and second is your model. Now, once that is done, I will be going ahead and I will be initializing my large language model, right? Now, one thing you have to understand that you are trying to connect Python with your OpenAI, right? So I have to go to OpenAI platform. So this is the official website of your OpenAI, platform.openai.com. And you have to click on this link. And here what are we doing is we are going to this API reference. And once I click on that, you can see that here. Let's go to dashboard. So here you can see that we have this API keys, right? I click on this and I can generate one key. I already have generated one key. So I'm not doing that. I'm using that key. But the idea is that this is the page where you can get the API. Now, what is an API? Quickly have a brief discussion. Basically, they have already created the model and they want us to leverage that model and create our own applications. So they are not giving access to download that model. They as an OpenAI, as I'm talking about. So we cannot download that. Why? Because first of all, they put that restriction. And second is that if I will try to download, I require a huge machine because they have trained the model on a very huge number of parameters. If I give you a rough cost, if I want to download the OpenAI full-fledged model in my machine, the laptop which I will be buying, or I can say a system which I have to buy, will cost you around 5 crore rupees, right? That heavy machine you have to buy. So obviously no one can do that. So what they have done is that they asked you to get the API and leverage the power of their model through the API. So API, you can say it's like a connector between your laptop and the OpenAI server where they have trained their model, right? So I am using this API, which is helping me to connect to my OpenAI model and I can create my own chatbots and all. So that is my step one. After this import of the modules, I am initializing my LLM, right? So I will be using this chat OpenAI. And this chat OpenAI, I will be calling the model. Let's say I'm calling the GPT 3.5 model, right? And I have to pass the API key as well. And again, there are various other parameters which we can pass. So let me create my LLM first. That is chat OpenAI. And here I will be passing the model. I want my model to be GPT 3.5 turbo, right? That is the model. We have again various models are there. You can go to the OpenAI website and you can check it out. What all models are there, how much it is going to cost, and so on and so forth. This is the very old model. Basically, 3.5 is the initial days when OpenAI came up with this chat GPT. At that time, they came up with this 3.5 model. Now we have 4.0, 4.0, all those models are available, right? 4.0, 4.0 mini and all those things. So you can just go to the OpenAI website and check how much cost it is going to take per token basis, right? So this is, as of now, I'm going with the simple model. Second is parameter, which is temperature, right? The second parameter which we can pass is temperature. Normally, the value of temperature is varying from 0 to 1. More towards 0, it is more deterministic, and more towards 1, it is more creative, right? Sometimes people say that it varies from 0 to 2 only, 0 to 2 also, but again, 0 to 1 is normally as per the documentation, right? So when we are setting the temperature as 0, that means what happens is that it is going to give me, see what large language model does. Large language model generates the words, right? For example, suppose I am saying, hi, this is the best. Or let me do one thing. Just give me a second. I've created all the PPTs out there. So let me open that. Just a sec. Just give me a sec. Ah, yeah. So this is the picture which I wanted to show you. So here you can see, right? Vrindavan is known for. So what ChatGPT or the other large language model will do, it will give me the probabilities of next word, right? So Vrindavan is known for devotion is 78%, spirituality is 12%, peace is 6%, and festival is 4%. So which has the highest probability? Devotion. So my sentence will get completed with Vrindavan is known for devotion. Now let's say, so this cycle will go on, right? It will start predicting the next word. So Vrindavan is known for devotion and it is famous for. Now this is what I want to predict. So again, it will give me the most frequent or most probable words. Here you can see Radha Krishna Bhakts, and so on and so forth. It has the highest probability, that is Radha Krishna Bhakts. So automatically my sentence will get completed with that particular sentence, like that particular word. So the idea here is that it will generate. So when I'm saying Vrindavan, so automatically it will give me the probability for next word. So whichever is having the highest probability will be coming in. Then it will take Vrindavan is as an input and give me the next probable word. So known is coming in. Same way Vrindavan is known. It will look for the next probable word for coming in and so on and so forth. So when we are going with this temperature is equal to 0 0.2, right? It is going to give me more realistic answer, deterministic answer, which is like more of an accurate answer, right? But if I go with this temperature as a higher value, for example, I am going with 1. So in that case, it is going to give me most creative answer. For example, here, if I go back to this picture here. So now when I go with temperature is equal to 1, what happens is that it will pick up any of these words, right? Vrindavan is known for, maybe it can take festivals as well. Because temperature equal to 1 is like more creativity. And when we have more creativity, that means you may get some of the words which are like least probable words, but still you are getting it. Right? So that is the difference here. So I'm going with the temperature as 0 0.2, because I want more accurate rather than the randomness. And then I will be passing the API key. Right now, as I mentioned, right, I already copied the API key. So I'm just taking that. So I'm taking my API key. So this is my API key, which I am passing, right? So this is the API key, which is basically helping me to connect to the OpenAI model. And that is it. My LLM is ready. And here you can see that we are not getting any error. Everything is fine. Now, once that is done, I connected the OpenAI, this thing, right? Large language model with my Python instance. Now I will be going with the second step. My second step would be I will be generating a prompt template, right? So let's create prompt template. As I mentioned at the start of the session, right, we are using only two components of LangChain. And again, with the two components of LangChain, you may not be creating a very powerful applications, but as we are going step by step, so we are just taking two components, and then slowly once we'll learn about other, you will be seeing a lot of complex chatbots coming into picture, right? RAG applications and all those things. So step two is my create prompt template. Now here what I will be doing is I will be calling prompt, which is one variable. I am calling this chat prompt template dot from template. And then here I will be giving my this thing proper prompts, right? Multi-line commenting I'm doing here. So here I am saying you are a helpful assistant. Use the following context to answer the user's question, right? And here is my context where I will be calling my context variable, which I will create in some time. And I will have the question where user will ask question, which again I will give user an input to ask the question. So question, right? Let me create the context so that you will understand. So let's say my context is, you can give any context as of now, because as of now we are not creating very extensive chatbot. So I'm giving some context like let's say I'm talking about LangChain only. So LangChain is a framework designed to simplify the development of applications, right? Powered by large language models, that is LLMs. These days, LLMs people are not using, people are using chat models, right? Which is like more of a different concept. It provides building blocks like prompts, models, chains, memory, and agents, right? So this is the context which I have, right? Based on this context, I want to ask any question, and based on that, it will respond. And let me have the question as well, where user will input, ask your question, right? So that is the input. Now, suppose, let's say, I'm asking what is LangChain? Suppose the question is what is LangChain? Right? So now this question variable is going here. And this context variable is going here. Now read it. You are a helpful assistant. Use the following context to answer the user's question. LangChain is a framework designed to simplify the development of applications powered by large language models. It provides building blocks for prompts, models, chains, memories, and agents. What is LangChain? Right. So basically, context is given from here, and question is coming from the user. Right. And based on that, it is going to give me the response. Your chat model is going to give me the response. So basically, as of now, here after declaring this prompt, what I did is I came up with this context. As of now, this context is like a very basic context. You can give some bigger context as well, that you are a pizza bot and all those things, right? You are selling these pizzas. ask for the pizza you want and all those things. We can give a bigger context as well. So here I am setting the context. That is step 3. Manually we are defining. Normally in the real time we are not doing this manually, but as we are limited to 2 components, right? Model and prompt. That's why we are doing this. Else we feed the external documents, right, as a context. For example, I am having a pizza store, so I will be giving my menu as an input, right? And based on that, it will respond. But that we will be discussing in the future sessions, right? So manually define context. This is like a RAG simulation. RAG is nothing but retrieval augmented generation, right? So basically, when you are having any database or files or whatever, and you want to go and you want to fetch out the information from that, that is what we are actually doing here. But it is not, we are passing the document, but we are just passing the text here, right? But in the real time, what happens? Um, we read the document, we convert that to vectors, we store in the vector database, and then we get the answers. All those things happen, which we are going to discuss as and when we will proceed with this playlist. Okay. So this is my step 3 and this is my step 4 where we are passing the question. Accept user input. Basically the question, right? And that is what user will ask. So this is done. This above part is done. Here we are getting some error. Let's see what is the error. Okay, the context is not there. So let me run this. Let me run. Oh, okay. Let's run this again. Now it should work fine. Prompt template question. What is that? Question is missing. Okay, that's fine. Let me put one thing. Let me do one thing. Let me put all these in the same cell because question variable is not created, right? That's why we are getting this problem. Let's put it on in the same cell. We'll run this all directly once the chatbot is ready. But I hope the step is very much clear. Now, once that is done, let's quickly see. So we created this prompt. Prompt is looking fine. Then we had the context. Context is looking fine as well. And we had this question. Question is also looking fine. Now let me add step number 5. That is your format the prompt. Now the prompt template is filled with actual values for context and questions, right? So this returns a list of formatted chat messages that model can understand. So here we have to give a proper formatting. So here I'll give the formatted prompt is equal to prompt, which is nothing but this one. This variable I am calling. So prompt dot format prompt, actually format underscore message. Yeah, this I want messages bracket. Now here I'll pass context is equal to context comma question is equal to question. So that is my step number 5 where we are just formatting my this thing prompt. Then after that I will be adding step number 6 where we will be getting the response from LLM, right? So we have to invoke the prompt using the LLM. So get LLM response. So here I will be creating one variable called response is equal to LLM dot invoke, and I will be passing this formatted prompt. And then finally, I want to print the answer. So step number 7, that is a print the answer. So I'll be printing the response. Print response dot content, right? And I think, yeah, that's it. This is what we had to create. I hope this will run fine. Let's check it out. I see some questions coming in. Minus. Please confirm. Okay, so let's run this. Undo. Just give me a second, guys. I'm just checking the error. This model is fine. Let me put this model also inside this. This model is fine. Chat prompt template is okay. This is gonna be this was wrong. Chat. Chat message prompt template is a different use case. And as of now, I wanted to show you with chat prompt template. So chat prompt template. Chat prompt template. Yeah. So here you can see that, right? So when I change this from chat message prompt template to chat prompt template, here you can see this is coming in. And let me show you this in PPT as well. Here you can see, right? So chat prompt template. So for chat models that uses role like system user assistant handled using chat prompt template. So basically there are three things. One is the system. System is nothing but, for example, you are creating a chatbot for your company and you are setting some context. Let's say you want to sell some edtech university. You want to sell some courses, right? So you have to give that entire thing and the entire context that you are a chatbot. You will be talking to the learners and talking about the courses which we are selling and all those things. So that is a system message, right? That is the system message. That is the context which I am setting. After that, user is nothing but you guys. Let's say you guys are asking for some courses. So in that case, you are going to put some prompt, right? That what all courses you have and what all things you are doing and something like that. So you are the users. Assistant is what? Assistant is nothing but it will take the user's query and understand the system message and based on that, it will respond. So assistant is nothing but your large language model, right? So basically you are the user. You are hitting this LLM and here is the system. System is nothing but your company from where you can ask for the courses. And this interaction will happen. And this interaction will be done by the agent, or you can say your assistant, right? So that is what here it is, system user assistant. So when you want to go with the system user assistant concept, which is what we have to go as of now. So in that case, we have this chat prompt template is coming into picture, right? So if we go back to this from starting. So the prompt component helps you structure, parameterize, reuse, and manage prompts when interacting with LLMs. Instead of hard coding prompts directly inside your code, you create a template where certain parts are left as variable. LangChain then fills these variables dynamically before sending the prompts to the model. So in our example also we did that, right? We gave this context and the questions as a variable, and this will be passed by the chat model and this LangChain will take care of the things. So that is what it is saying. Here you can see that there are different types of prompts we have. One is your static prompt. Used a fixed prompt with placeholders like variables, prompt template. It's reusable across multiple inputs, simple but very powerful. So for example, if you see here, we are calling this prompt template dot from template, translate the following sentence into French, and sentence will be one of the inputs which user will pass. Second is the dynamic prompts. That is a prompt it's coming from prompt template again, but here we are giving the context plus question, right? The way we did. Although we use the another format, which is your chat prompt template, where we are giving the system query and user query. So we can actually set like this also. We did not mention that you are a system or you are a user, but it is automatically understanding that, right? So chat prompt template is one of the what do you say way to create a proper chatbots, right? So you can see that for chat models that use roles like system user assistant and the chat prompt template useful for OpenAI, Claude, Gemini chat models simulates real conversational structure, right? Then we have few short templates as well, where we can give some examples that, for example, input is 2 plus 2, output I want 4, input is 3 plus 5, output I want 8, right? So we are giving some examples as well. So as we are giving the examples, that is why it is known as few short prompt template, right? We are giving few examples for machine to understand. So that is about your prompts, same way model as well. So the benefit of model, again, I will show you practically only, then we'll come to this slide. So now my chatbot is ready. Whatever questions I will ask here, you can see that it will hit this context and based on that only it will respond. But suppose I'm asking something else. Who is the PM of India? So here you can see that it's giving me the response for that as well. As of now, the context which I have set, apart from that context as well, it is giving me some responses. So now here I will ask in my context only answer based on the context. Do not give any other responses based on any other, what do you say, a question, right? So this is now my context which I have set. Now let me ask, who is the PM of India? Let's see how it behaves. So here you can see that I am a language model assistant and do not have real time information, right? Rather, I can say that, okay, if the question is out of context, just say I can only talk about LangChain, right? So now when I run this again, who is the PM of India? You can see that I can only talk about LangChain, right? So that is how we can make sure that if user is passing something and it is out of relevance, right? It's not relevant. In that case, it will be coming some static output. Now, if I'm asking what is LangChain? what is LangChain? So now it is going to respond. LangChain is a framework designed to simplify and all those things, which we have just passed, right? That is the information we are getting. So this is a basic model where we are just having 3-4 lines of context, and that is it. Now, why I wanted to discuss this as well, because suppose let's say today, as a company, I am using OpenAI as the model. And let's assume that OpenAI is now becoming a bit expensive. They are charging more cost per tokens. And let's say I want to go ahead and I want to change this OpenAI model, right? Now, the best part here is that in the LangChain framework, out of this entire big code which I have written, right? Entire big code which I have written, I only have to change one thing. And that is the best part which we have. And that one thing is that I want to go ahead and I want to just switch this particular model, right? So I will be importing my, what do you say, Google, right? So from LangChain, Google underscore Gen AI. I don't have the API for now, so I cannot able to show you that, but you can see that I'm just changing the code. Chat Google Generative AI, right? This module is not present in my machine as of now. Let me just install that. Just give me a second. Is the name correct? LangChain Google Gen AI. Yeah, this is fine. Let me just import. Just give me a second. So here I'll be saying pip install LangChain hyphen chain hyphen Google Gen AI. Right? So now you can see it's getting installed. And that's it. Now when I run this, you can see that it is going to run fine, I guess. Yeah. So here you can see that. So it ran fine. It will not impact your above model. You can see when I run this as of now, what is LangChain. It is working fine as of now. Nothing is happening there, right? So I imported this LangChain Google. And now what I have to do is I have to change this guy, right? That is it. And what I have to do, I will call this particular function out here. I have to use the Google model, right? So you can go to the Google's website and you can get the model. Let's say I'm using Gemini Pro. I can set the temperature again. The concept remains the same. And here my key will change, right? Here it is gonna be Google API key. Your key will change here, right? Your key will change. That's it. Once I change my key and once I run the model, everything will remain the same, right? Because this chat prompt template is coming from your LangChain. Your formatted prompt, everything is coming from your LangChain. Invoke is coming from the LangChain. Everything is coming from the LangChain, right? So the benefit which we are getting here is that when I want to change any model from from OpenAI to Llama, uh, or if you want to go to your Gemini, or if you want to go to your Claude, right? So in that case, you can just go ahead and you can change this part, and your entire chatbot will work accordingly, right? There will not be any other change required. So that is the flexibility which you get from this particular LangChain components, right? So here you can see that in LangChain, model component is the core interface through which we interact with AI models. Here you can see that I have two different models. See the difference here, right? From OpenAI, import OpenAI. client OpenAI, response client this. Here you can see Anthropic client response this. Now this is basically you can see a lot of difference, right? This is you're asking client.response create, client.messages.create. Model is different. That is okay. Input, message, role, user, content. You can see actually there is a big difference. So what I wanted to highlight here is that internally, if I want to use these chatbots or if I want to use this large language models, their code is very different. But when you are using your LangChain, right? Now you see this is the original code of OpenAI for calling your OpenAI model. And this is the original code of your Anthropic for calling your Claude model. But when I am going to LangChain, this is the code which is coming from the official website of OpenAI and Anthropic. But now when I come to the LangChain, see the code difference. Your code for OpenAI and your code for Anthropic is almost the same. You are calling their LLM chat OpenAI. Here you are calling chat Anthropic. API key you are passing, model you are passing, temperature you are passing, response invoke you are doing, and then finally you are getting the output. So it is standardizing the things, right? Actually, the code is very different as per their own model building. But when we are coming to LangChain, it is standardizing the things for me. And that is the benefit which you are getting. So suppose when we are creating a big agents, and after that we decided that I want to change the model. So there I don't have to do much thing. I can create one file where I am putting the model. I just have to change that file and change the model. And that is it. Other things will run perfectly fine, right? And that is the benefit which LangChain gives us. It's a powerful framework, although it is good for creating the AI agents. But if you want to create some agentic AI, right? AI agents are basically nothing but a single agent. You're asking something, it is responding something. It's like more of a reactive. But when I talk about the agentic AI, it's more of autonomous and multiple agents are coming into picture. So when I want to create an agentic AI system, LangChain is good. But there is one more package which they have called LangGraph. So LangGraph is much better for creating the industry grade, agentic AI systems. But if you want to create a simple AI agents and just doing small tasks, which is more of a reactive, that means when I'm asking them, it is responding, right? So that type of chatbots or that type of applications are more of a reactive. Those are AI agents. So for that, LangChain is pretty much okay, right? So that is the idea. And again, as I mentioned that as of now, we cover only two modules. One is model and second is your prompt. In the future sessions, we'll be covering chains, memory. As of now, memory is not there. If I'm asking, suppose let's say I'm converting this to a chatbot, right? If I ask something in the next chat, it will be not knowing about that, what I asked. For example, let's say in my chat, I'm asking who is the Prime Minister of India. After that, I'll ask what is his age. Chatbot will not able to respond. Because as of now, the chatbot which we are creating are stateless. That means as of now, the chatbot which we are creating has no memory. So we can introduce the memory as well that, okay, whatever chat happened, just preserve that memory for the future chats, right? So all those things can be done. And for that, we have other components like memory and all, which can help us to do that. So that is what I wanted to cover. I hope this makes sense. Again, it's a very brief, very small uh, chatbot which we have created. It's not industry grade, but as I mentioned, I'm creating this like 1 or 2 sessions per month where we'll be talking about these concepts. And by the end of few months, we will be ready with the entire thing. Overall, if the feedbacks are looking fine, then we'll have more sessions like this, right? But as of now, I'm just going step by step. So those guys who are not able to understand what happened today because they must have not attended the previous session, you can connect to the support team and ask for the recordings and they will give you that. So that will make more sense for today's class. Okay. So I'll stop here. I'll take questions now. What do you guys have? Chat screen is not opening. Give me a second. What happened? Previous recording links, you can very well go and ask for the support team. They will give that. Because somehow this chat screen is not opening. I'm not sure. Anyway, so chat screen is not opening. So what I can do is, if you guys have any doubts, you can uh, connect with the support team and put your doubts there, and I will be responding to the same. Right. I hope you got something new from this session. Anything else? Or what you can do is you can put the question in your Q&A screen, because Q&A screen is working fine. You can put your questions there. Is there any already RAG model available for general structured data? RAG model available as in what? Like you have to use the LLM and you have to give the context. RAG model is basically, there is nothing like RAG model, right? When you are giving some context or some documentation to your chat models or large language models, then it is becoming RAG. I'll show you one picture so that you'll get the idea. Just give me a sec. You can build your own RAG models and you can start selling that, right? So in industry, maybe people are doing that, but as such, there is no specific RAG model, right? You can build it from your side. I'll show you one picture. So here you can see. So this is a simple RAG model which we have. This one, right? So here you can see I have a document. I'm storing that document in, let's say, some S3 bucket, or you can be putting that into Google Drive or whatever drive you want to put. I'm using AWS for now. So I'm putting that in S3 bucket. Now what happens is that I will read this particular document and I will split that, right? Why we are splitting it? Because I want to process small chunks of data. Because if I go and put all the chunks in a single split, it's going to be a bit of a tricky for machine as well to understand. So normally what we do is we split the bigger document into multiple smaller documents, and that process is known as splitting. And once that is done, I will convert that document into the numbers, and that process is known as embedding, right? So for example, let's say you gave a very big PDF file, you put that in the document splitter, it will split the document, and after that it will generate the embedding. Embedding is nothing but converting the text into numbers. Once that is done, I will be storing that into the vector database. This picture which you can see, this one, this is my vector database. So all the text which is converted to numbers from here to here is getting inside this particular database. Now user is asking an input. Like for example, let's say this data is for some, uh, let's say it's a patient database or something like that. I'm asking what is COVID, right? So it will convert that question also into embedding. That means into numbers. It will search on this particular database and it will fetch out those documents which are having COVID there are multiple pages, but in few pages COVID is there. So it will only fetch out those pages which has COVID present. And then it will combine this pages and the user query. And based on that, it will try to find out the answer. And then your LLM will give me the response. Right? This is the entire flow which we have. So here, this document is what I am giving to the machine. Here machine is actually taking the details from this document, right? This document is what we are passing here. And that is why it is called as a RAG application, because now here what I'm doing is I am taking some external information from my company, and then based on that information, I am giving the responses. So RAG application is nothing but which is like I'm giving some information, and from that information, I want to give some responses. For example, let's say I have a company and I have some HR policies. So I will create a chat bot where I'll upload this document of HR policies, and then it will hit and give me the responses from that particular document. For example, let's say I as chatbot ask that I to a chatbot will ask that how many holidays we can take per year. So it will hit the PDF or a database where the entire HR information is there. It will hit there, get the response and give me the response. So that is like your RAG system, right? So you can build your own this thing, right? You can build your own systems, which is a RAG system, and you can sell it. For example, let's say you have created a nice document where you have put all the general knowledge details, whatever is present in the entire world, right? You have put all the documents as a nice document, and you are now asking ChatGPT or any model to hit that document and respond. So now you created a nice GK model, right? Or nice GK RAG model, and you keep updating your document as and when the new things will happen. And you can start selling it. You can say this is the website where you can ask any random thing, it will respond. Or you can go with specific type of chatbot. For example, I want to create a chatbot only for lawyers. So I'll take all the books which are available for understanding the rules and regulations. I'll put that in the chatbot, and then I will ask chatbot to give response from this entire document, right? So it's a RAG system. Now anyone who is coming in asking for any random legal questions, it will hit those documents and give me the response. So those type of things are known as your, what do you say, expert RAG system. It has its own expertise, right? So that type of things also can be created. So that depends, right? What domain are you belonging to? And based on that, you can create your own systems. I hope this makes sense. I cannot see the chats, but I hope it is making sense. How the split takes place? Is it page wise? Not page wise, you have to set that, right? So you can say that in one split, I want 3000 words. So it will break into words. If you want pages wise, you can do that. You can do overlap also, so that context will not be missed. Overlap as in give me 3000 words with 500 words as overlap. So in that case, it will take first 3000 words. Then the next split will be from 500 words prior and then 3000 words, right? Basically, it's something like this. That is normally we are using. I have this entire document. I have these sentences. My first split will be, let's say, something like this. Sorry. My first split will be, let's say, let me create this again. So this is my document. My first split will be, let's say, something like this. Right? This is my first split. Now my second split, as I'm saying, I want to overlap. So my second split may be something like this. Right? So there is some overlap. My third split will be something like this. There is some overlap like that. So we have we put normally some overlap so that the context may not miss. Because if I cut at this point, all in the left, all in the right are separate, there can be a chance that I may be having a different discussion happening in the first part and in the second part. But it is very much, what do you say? Both sentences are together making sense, but separate also making sense. So I don't want that type of thing. So there we go with the overlaps. So that type of split can be done. We prefer that overlapped splits we are preferring. How to add PDF document from where? That is what we'll discuss in the future sessions. As I mentioned, we have various components. As of now, I'm not talking about the rack systems, right? So as of now, I just took these two components. Once we'll proceed further, when we come to memory and all, at that time we'll discuss. So we are going step by step, right? So you can join the next session next month. We'll continue from there. Okay. All right. So this makes sense. I hope we'll see you in the next session. Till then, take care, guys.